All right, what's up, folks? I am Eric. I'm your host of Success Over Stress. Today is April the 10th, 2025, and I just want to make a quick video. Is talking about spreads, so finding really tight spreads. So on some of my, let me pull up one of these displays. So on some of my displays, you see that I look at the spread. So I'm looking at when the spread gets wide. The spread here got really wide, up to 4.5 or so. This is on ES futures. This spread here got up to 5. So obviously we know that when the spread widens, we know that price is running. But at that point, price is probably in the process of running, right? So the spread widens as the move is happening. But the spread can also widen at a place where it's and kind of create a rubber band effect, and then price rejects that new area and then comes back. So but now I want to look at, so like in this instance where price is coming down, hits this wide spread here and then rubber bands back, right? So it's an area of a little bit of a retracement, but this wasn't the larger move. Where does the larger move happen? Does the large move happen when spread gets really tight or where it gets really wide? So that's what I'm kind of figuring out. One of the things I did is today I was looking at replay back through the price action of yesterday, and I noticed that we had a little bit of a I don't know if it's an error or not, but it was like a reverse spread, if you will. So pull up this, and so you see over here where I've got the spreads and that kind of thing. You see the spread says 0.25, 0.5. It kind of moves and fluctuates. Well, it had a negative number here. So as we're getting into an area of demand, it had a negative number. So what I want to do, instead of looking for these larger spreads when it goes to 0.5 or 1 or 1.5 or 5, when it gets, instead of looking for the largest number within that bar, I want to see what the smallest number within that bar is. So that's what I'm attempting to do today. So I'm actually going to put my music on. So I'm just going to kind of get the programming, and hopefully I have something that makes sense. Well, right now it's after hours, so it's about, well, it's not after hours, but it's after institutional trading hours, so it's 4:30. Futures will stop trading here about 5 o'clock, and then it'll resume at 6 o'clock for the following trading day. So I don't really have a lot of movement to test it against right now, but I'll at least try to put it together. Hopefully I don't have any errors, and then I can test it on tomorrow. All right, so going on silent here. All right, so what we're going to do, since we're using the plot paint bar, we're using a paint bar indicator. We're actually going to paint it white if it's less than 0. Right. You know what we can do? Well, I've already got paint bars for other things, such as large orders and that kind of thing. So I don't want to use too many different colors. But what I can do is I can use maybe one color if the spread gets down to a negative, and then if the spread gets down to 0, I can do another color. So we'll only use 2 different colors. So we'll work with that. So we're going to use a case switch for this, or switch case. So switch, what are we going to switch? We're going to switch lowest spread. Okay, and begin in the case of if it's case negative or less than 0, colon, if it's less than 0, we're going to paint it white. And if it's 0, then we're going to paint it, paint it black. Let's see that. I'm not sure how this is going to look, so visually I might have to change it just for it to make sense to me. 0 spread. All right. All right, and now when we get to the end of the when we get to a new bar, we need to figure out something to reset this this lowest spread. So if we come into here, we're going to have a variable called bar number where we hold the bar number, or we'll just get your bar. I really need to put my glasses on. Hold bar. There's going to be a integer where we hold bar. So if the hold bar, is different, so the bar number, if the new bar number, if the bar number is different from hold, or I guess we're using current bar, is different from a hold bar, then that's when we're going to reset everything. All right, so that's when we're going to reset everything. So we'll reset lowest spread equal to 0, which actually, because we're using the minimum, instead of setting it to 0, we need to probably set it at like 5, because we're going to be taking the lowest. Or a better way to do it would be to, for the first, well, I can make it more complicated by doing that, but this is a simple way of doing it. So if we are on the first tick within this next group of calculations, then we will use that first tick as our initial lowest spread number, and then thereafter. So it would look something like this. Tick count, 0, 0. Bar persists. All right, so we're gonna reset the tick count. If we have a new bar, the tick count is going to be reset as well. Okay, now if we are on the first tick, if tick count equals 1, so on every iteration of coming back into this update, we're going to plus equal plus 1 plus equals 1, so we're going to add 1 to the tick count. So now if tick count is 1, so if it's the first tick count, then if it's the first one, then we're going to assign the lowest spread is equal to current spread. After we calculate the current spread, of course. So if tick count is equal to 1, then lowest spread equals current spread. Boom. Okay, and so now we come down here, we do all this. Okay, so now if the current bar is different from hold bar, then we're going to reset everything. We're going to reset the lowest spread, and we're going to reset tick count to 0. And we're also going to hold that new bar number. That new bar number will be equal to hold bar. So hold bar is equal to current bar. All right. I think all this makes sense. So let me verify, see what issues we have. So we just need to do plot paint bar. Oh yeah, so when you're dealing with plots, whether it's plots on your indicators or show me's or anything like that, when you have a plot, the plot can only have one name. You can't have different names for the same plot number. And for a plot paint bar, you only have one plot. It's plot paint bar. You don't have multiple plots. So this one plot cannot have multiple names. Can't be called negative spread and it can't be called zero spread at the same time. So we'll just call this negative. We'll just call it tight spread. But it's got to be called the same thing. All right, now verify. No errors? What? Now I guess I should be at some point where I'm not constantly getting errors all the time. All right, so we're going to put this on like a 5-second, on a 5-second chart. Taft's tightest spread. This is plot paint bar. Taft's tightest spread. There. Okay. All right, this does need to be update inch bar persists. User define max bars back. We're not really referencing anything in the past, so we'll just put 0. Okay, and now it's running. So I'll let it run for a little while and then we'll see if it gives us, oh, it already gave us a black. So that black means what? The black means that it had a spread of 0. Now we have to watch this because are all of them going to be black? Is the minimum spread? Well, in after hours, it very well may be. So we might be looking for a white bar here instead of a black bar because, again, with the lower liquidity in after hours, we can certainly have 0 for the spread on any given tick, right? So this is checking every single tick and checking to see if the inside bid ask if the spread, what the minimum spread is, if it gets down to 0 or if it gets down to less than 0. But I'm really interested in when it gets to less than 0. So let's gonna change this background because if we do get a white one, it's gonna blend in with this white background. Oosh. Okay. Different than what my eyes are used to, but I'll let this run for a little bit. Obviously, there's the program right there. If you guys are interested in it, go ahead and rigorously take it down. All right, but I will turn my music back on. I'll just let this run for a while. We only have 15 more minutes to the close of the regular session here for features, so maybe I'll just let it run the duration. I don't know about you guys, but I saw a negative right in there. I saw a negative in there, and it didn't give it to us here. So, but now I'm gonna be honest with you. What I'm using here, what I'm using over in this program is the time and sales provider. I'm not using the market depth provider. This is the market depth provider. I'm using the time and sales provider to determine my spread. So maybe I should I'm gonna do an identical program, pretty much identical, and then we'll have another bar here, and then we'll run it with the market depth provider and see what it looks like. All right, time of sales. Oh, I see a problem here too. Maybe why I'm also getting all these being black is because when I did lowest spread, I did the minimum. If whatever this minimum went to, if it went down to 0, then because this is interbar persist, then this lowest spread will stay at that 0, or it'll stay at that lowest number. So as soon as we get down to a negative number and this becomes white, it would just stay white because lowest spread would always stay at the lowest. So we also need to change lowest spread. So if tick count is equal to 1, then lowest spread is equal to... Yeah, no, that's right. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're doing here. We don't need to do anything with current spread because it changes every single time. So no, that was right. That's right. All right. Current spread is low spread, current spread. All right. See if it likes this. Okay. I'm gonna copy this, paste it. We will rearrange them all. Add that new study. And now let's see what we get. All right, so we got 5 minutes till the close of the bell. Let's see if we see any negatives come up in here. Again, if we see the negatives come in here, then we should be seeing it come over here. Get some action. Is that a 0? I'm not even seeing, I'm not even seeing 0 pop up here. Maybe I've got something wrong. Let's look here. Let's go back to the first one, the task. All right, so everything is interbar persist. If data state is loaded. If current bar is not equal to hold bar. Did I get hung up on here? This here is something new that I've kind of been able to figure out, because typically you can say, all right, well, if you want a new bar, then you can just reset everything. But when you're using event handlers and you're not necessarily running every bar to every bar, then it doesn't always reset like it's supposed to. So I've kind of come up with this block here, and I believe this is how it's supposed to go. So if the current bar is not equal to hold bar, which it wouldn't at the beginning of the script, hold bar would essentially be 0. So if it's not equal, then you're going to 0 everything out, and then you're going to make hold bar equal to current bar. And then you're going to run through the rest of your program. Now when you come back up here into the next event, now current bar is Now, whole bar is equal to current bar if you're in the same bar. So you wouldn't reset. I think that's right. Why is everything being black? Let me get rid of that and see what happens. Huh. Well, that's weird for a few oh, okay. All right. Well, I know part of what's going on. Okay, I see. All right, so on this chart here, when I changed this indicator here, this chart here, even though what happened was I copied this chart, made a duplicate here, and then I added that new script on top of what was already here, right? So there was already, this script had black running the whole time, right? And so once I changed it, now the black stopped running. You see it's running here. So I turn that off. Now the only script that's running is the one with the market depth provider. The one that, like I said, should show this negative here because this is using the market depth provider. The time and sales provider comes from another data set. So that's more interesting. Is it? Is it more interesting? I don't know. I don't know how useful this is. Definitely see we got the white up here before it reversed. This wasn't black and it wasn't regular colored. Yeah, just have to continue to watch it. But I'm a little salty that time of sales provider didn't quite work for it. This guy here, it's not given the same information, if you will. Like all these are black on this time and sales side. That's the task. This is the market depth provider. But again, this was correct. This was correct. You see it's working fine over here. But like I said, when it gets back into it, maybe tomorrow when we have normal volatility, then it'll be interesting to see how things play out. Did I say spam? Sure did. This has been one heck of a day, guys. One heck of a day. All right. Let's see. Oh, that's black. You know what? I'm going to print out what the spreads are. Because I feel like something is not right. I'm going to print out the current spread. Now we can see what's under the hood. All these current spreads are coming up as 0. So with every tick, we should get a new print. Oh, just hit 5 o'clock, just stopped. All right, so nothing else to do right now, but sit on our hands until 6 o'clock rolls around, at which time I may not be doing any programming. I may just, take that time off. Anyway, guys, hope you got a little something out of this. If not, then come back next time. We'll do it next time. I have been your host. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.